Yeah, it kind of blocks them off completely from getting in it. I think they can move on like the bottom side of it and wrap around, but it's just perfectly blocking the entrance to that rush pit from that angle, and they don't want to go from the other angle. So they're just waiting this one out, just having the teams watch each other. They have a Tinker, so Tinker can go deal with the side lanes in the meantime, and then rejoin his team.
SF also is not here,
He wants to do the same.
Can obviously TP back in if he wants to. Roche is still very low. It's like it'd be really tough for Fnatic to take it themselves.
They do not, they're not Roche hitter. Their lineup doesn't do not till way later with Sven, but even then, it's nothing in comparison to eHome's Roche hitting.
So heads up play there by Fnatic. They're able to stop the Roche pressure.
Yep. Now the smoke. So fight. They want to catch the Brew before he gets split off, and now they know that there's no Dark Steel wall. And they don't have, the big thing is too, is that Fnatic, they've got a Vanguard on Ice, but he doesn't have a mech, he doesn't have a pipe. Underlord has the mech and the pipe, so they are significantly tankier inside of this fight.
He's trying to get towards those Guardian Greaves. Does have mech almost done the jump in. ASD wants to blink in. A good pit of Malice. The follow-up is going to be there. A Soulbind, it's on to not really the heroes that they want it to be at all. Now, the second Stormhammer is going to go out, but that's two important heroes dead.
As soon as Japs dies, there's no way that Fnatic can even think about taking a team fight. They found the perfect targets there. Both supports taken out right away. And a very nice, those smoke wraparound plays are always great to see.
Ice doesn't care about their flame. He's just laughing it off.
Dude, that Grieval laughter is very agitating. I love it though. eHome now. Getting a better control of this game, even more so. Having the blink, seems like ASD's kind of like debating what he wants to go for next between the bots and the BKB on the Shadow Fiend. Been switching it between both pretty consistently. Has now committed.
They say he's just going to give Faith beyond a punch.
Yeah, they're picking up some pretty significant items here. Now, Blink Dagger and the Tusk too, so further ways of trying to catch. And I mean, this Sven is starting to fall pretty far behind.
There's definitely reasons why we haven't seen this hero all that much. Good vacuum there and able to interrupt, and just going to head back over, pick up other runes. So 2 for 2.
Goes top, joins his team on the Underlord. Has the full Guardian Greaves coming on the Courier soon, so yeah, even more tankability and better team fight for them.
I mean, one thing that can sometimes make it a little bit easier, like one of the big issues that you always see with Sven is like kiting issues.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, AoE Surge feels like it could be a way to help deal with that, although we haven't seen some go to the CDR as well. But it's just like, it feels like everything's a little bit slower right now from Fnatic.
Yeah, and even it's like, the one biggest concern too is, like, Sven, hard-hitting hero, right? If he gets God Strength and he's able to focus on heroes, great. But they've got Frost Shield. Yeah. They've got Atrophy Aura. They've got Snowball Save. They've got a lot of different ways that even if they're not kiting the Sven, even if he is hitting people, his damage will be heavily mitigated.
And you know, some of that stuff, it's not dispellable with the Brew either, so definitely an issue. Gonna need to solve that one, whether it's pickoffs or possibly just better movement, or at the end of the day, really just Tinker getting crazy farmed. But right now, he is not at that point.
Yeah. Doing okay. Blink and Aether Lens, level 15. Pretty good timings, all things considered. But it has to be very, very cautious of where he's going. You see they've already placed a sentry up on the top usual Tinker ward that they have. I don't think it was actually placed by eHome, but they're just trying to make sure that Abed's protected whenever he's doing these forest plays, because they know Tusk has a Blink Dagger now on top of the Shadow Fiend's Blink, so lots of different ways for them to hunt, catch Abed.
So that 5,000 net worth lead, eHome, what are they going to do with this Aegis? Maybe a tier 2 push in the near future. Obviously, you don't want to go high ground. Straight up into a Tinker, but
I think they wait on the BKB timing of the SF. He'll have it pretty soon, and they can take a fight outside the base still. But yeah, forcing high ground here, they're okay waiting. I mean, they've got a good scaling lineup, and they're probably like, I mean, it's a Sven carry. All they really have to worry about is really a Tinker in the later stages. Sven, I mean, he can, like. I don't know, Sven carry him. He can deal a lot of damage if there wasn't these abilities that really counteract him so hard.
Well, and the other thing too is that it's like Sven had been nerfed because of the changes to cleave and the fact that it's no longer just basically pure anymore. Ooh, he does go for the Spellhammer Dispels.
So, okay, that can dispel the Frost Shield.
There you
Okay,
go.
There you go. That's one thing, so if you can focus fire. All right, neat.
I mean, because everybody talks about like Bruce Split being able to dispel things. He missed one of them earlier.
He did.
It's not the easiest thing in the world, and it's also not reliable because you might not have your Bruce Split up.
Yeah.
This is very reliable. Still the issues of bursting through that armor, though.
They are still tanky, like with the...
Tinker wanted to jump on him there with Tusk. I don't really know what the thought would have been. Maybe TP in with the Shadow Fiend afterwards, or Dark Rift possibly.
Yeah. I mean, the Tusk, he doesn't... He's something you can't really, like, think he doesn't do a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's
this
true.
guy, like, Medallion plus a punch with tag team is
Oh my god.
tons of damage.
Ice, vacuum wall, but caught in the pit. Gonna eat the dirt. So 7,000 net worth lead now as one by one Fnatic hanging around there. They're behind, so it's just naturally going to be a little scary for them.
Oh my god. MP just hit the familiar into 0 damage with God's Strength.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That ain't good.
Dire's bottom tower.
And they can group together and go for this tower. They have an Underlord with plus 120, so easy bring down of this one. And the Tinker was not prepared to set up.
Shadow Fiend is so fast, too.
Yeah, and BKB finished on top of that Blink Yule, so yeah, threats. It's like, if you get caught by Yule Scepter, that SF's gonna BKB Blink and ult on top of you, and there isn't a save on the side of Fnatic.
No. Not at all. Aegis is gonna expire now. You are getting some of these items to maybe become more survivable. Darkseer finishing off that hood. The Aegis has been reclaimed, and
Going full Spellcaster on the Shadow Fiend. At least what he's queued up for now.
yeah.
Aghanims took the spell in. Presence armor or can be cool, but now presence armor or can be cool, but now maybe literally
Yeah.
all out. Presence armor or can be cool, but be literally
Yeah.
all out.
The Spellcaster build goes. I mean, Visage
Yeah,
still does a ton of damage.
Pretty tough call with what he was building. So the other big thing is we have to look for Fnatic is this is an old combo, a classic, is the Darkseer Sven. I think that's probably the biggest one for me that can bring is if they can get this vacuum combo into a like AoE Stormhammer, and then they can actually bring them down. But that being said now, they had the BKB already finished on the Shadow Fiend, and if you look at Ego, a pretty non-traditional item that you see being built on him for the Visage this game is also a BKB to deal with that vacuum combo.
Yeah. It's a lot of answers. You'll have to dodge away from the rockets. Yeah, I think that it's also the type of thing where like you just have so many different ways that you can respond. Like even a snowball save potentially, if it's not hit together absolutely perfectly. And obviously there's the vacuum AoE talent that you can go for at level 15 for the Darkseer to try and set it up easier, but feels like it has to be a very chaotic fight. And that's something that Bruce Master can do, is sort of create some chaos first.
They kind of have to like hope it, they have to do it like perfect, right? Like the Blink Vacuum and the Stun need to come at the exact same time, because otherwise they're going to get BKBs up and turn in. Another unorthodox BKB purchase on a hero is the Underlord. So the way to deal with the Tinker damage and then also to deal with that vacuum combo that we were discussing. Pretty cool. Pretty cool optimization by Ehome. I like it.
They've been looking very good. Buy BKB on literally everybody. Why not?
I mean, it's an old thing in like in China, right? We used to always talk about it as like they would wait, they'd farm up until they have the like triple BKBs on their cores, and then it's usually between that like 25 and 30 minutes that they go time. And that's exactly what they have right now, and we're probably going to see them do exactly that as they are looking for the smoke.
Well, Ice, giggling to himself. Gonna kind of keep, again, it's just him and Faith Beyond in the bottom lane. Just gonna stick around that area.
Yeah.
Firestorm, Ion Shell.
Okay, he's finished the pipe. He had the blink queued up. He's just going to go for tanking, it seems like. So I guess because he sees these BKBs and stuff, but...
Oh, he can't die here. The chase.
Ooh.
He's going to get out of there. Yeah, the other little caveat to watch for is going to be, of course, getting all of the auras that eHome have by virtue of the Darkseer wall. So let's say that you manage to steal or get Shadow Fiend caught in that, all of a sudden the minus armor starts working against them as well.
Yeah, yeah. If you can get a good wall off too. So that's something.
28 minutes.
DD Rune and the Roche is back.
Aghanim's done for the Tinker.
All right.
BD Ego.
Ooh. Lich, Innocence.
Looking for that opening, not bad. Snowball saving for the moment. Still soul-binded to one of the Visage Birds. He's going to be pulled all the way in, and now going to try and get that split off. Doesn't look like it's quite going to be enough. The Chain Frost doing a lot of damage, but it was telling the BKB Sven, so Lich is already dead. Everybody from Fnatic is still living through this one for the moment, and now chasing forward for more. The Requiem comes out, but it's not quite enough to kill off that Tinker. ASD wants to make it happen. It's not happening at all. They take the AoE vacuum, and now walking back through the wall. The Tinker is going in for another round. They pop the BKB from Faith Beyond, trying to run away, but it looks like this is actually pretty decent for Fnatic here.
That was perfect for Fnatic. Just like the way they got the teamfight set up. The Sven got the two supports on the side. He was able to focus fire the Lich as well on the Tusk. And the rest of his team was in like the perfect position on that high ground. I mean, the Tinker able to survive and get all of his spells off and then get surged away from that Shadow Fiend. That was pretty much the dream fight for Fnatic there.
Suddenly the net worth lead gets cut into a little bit. That Roche doesn't get taken easily. It was all the BKBs. Oh my god.
Abed has to be careful.
Line of sight. He doesn't get away.
Yeah, he pinged. He knew that the sub was hunting.
Sep was going to just TP out of there also. Well, there's something to consider if that Lich does get taken out at the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, he got the Chain Frost off too. He got his spells off, but yeah, it looked like it was. I saw some. I don't know if I'd have to like relook at it, but I saw the Soulbind. It was initially attached to like the Visage and to the Tusk, and I think he snowballed and dragged the Soulbind with him.
And then it was stuck to the two of them.
Him and the Lich. Yeah, that was interesting. And like speaking of Soulbind, they have the combos, and if you look at DJ, he's been banking pretty hard. Like only 2,600 away from a Hex on the
DJ always gets farmed.
Yeah, they'll have the combo with the Soulbind plus that. Yeah, we're going to see this one again. So there you see the Soulbind, and the Tusk actually drags the Soulbind and gets it attached to both him and the Lich on the side there. And the Sven's able to focus fire, and everybody's just kind of trapped there from jabs inside of this team fight. And Abed goes to work. Even though he gets caught, the Yules, ASD wasn't able to get the full Requiem damage onto him.
Yeah, had to blink and then BKB walk.
Yeah.
Fortunate there, but of course Ice, big plays there, able to surge away his buddy butt. The walk into the middle of everybody jabs. He's going to initiate it on right from the get-go. Has the split in 1 second, but he couldn't get it off. Time buyback immediately. Walks on back into this. The Soulbind, they're catching on to both of them. They jump in with the spin, bring him down to 10% HP, and Ego likely to fall here in the last second. Can they manage to find this kill? They're still chasing the Chain Frost to try and interrupt the chase coming, and the Grave Chill, the walk away, but the slowdown from the Stroke of Fate. ASD will have a blink in a second if he wants to jump up onto the high ground. The chase forward for Ego with all his stacks of Gravekeeper's Cloak running away. They will find that kill.
They used the Requiem on the TP of jabs after he bought back and went in. ASD just blows him up, and then they just go for the disengage because they don't actually have the ways to get on top of the Tinker in the backlines if they'd already committed the Requiem. Again, Fnatic in the same positioning, able to throw these like tanky frontliners in and have the Tinker in the back. It's actually starting to work out for them. They've cut this network lead heavily.
Yeah, and now just trying to take down Roche. Faith Beyond just bought a Blink Dagger and is having it brought out on the Courier right now. The Pit already down. They're trying to take Roche. This is really deadly as everybody is moving back into position. Shadow Fiend is going to be here shortly. They pop the BKB, jumps into the middle of everybody. He wants to try and take the step. He took the 70 damage talent. He's beating his ass. They kill him off. Now going to move in for the Roche as well. Ice. Can they take it down? They're able to get the blind. The jump forward. Roche. Aegis on the ground. He's picking it up. Ice takes the Aegis. Going to come back in a second. The BKBs are going to wear off shortly. ASD just tries to TP out of there. Does not want to stick around at all. And now the Sven, God's Strength, chasing down Faith Beyond. A stun to follow, snowball save, but it might just be to their death as the BKB has already popped. And now the chase. There's the double Stormhammer and gonna find that Tusk as well. Gorgeous play from Fnatic as They're going to use the Shrine, but to no avail.
Oh, so fortunate that they got the Aegis. DJ also got the cheese out of that too. Didn't even have to use it. Oh my, that was very nicely done there. You saw Fake Beyond with the 70 attack speed. Just blinks in and starts hitting them, but yeah, they were able to get that Aegis, which is the game changer.
Yeah, I mean, it did get reclaimed immediately afterwards, but still, it's like keeping him alive in that fight. It made the difference. And
DJ gets exploded.
Oh.
ASD found him bottom, just fuels Requiem. Yeah.
Oh, Tinker. Moving in. Nah, I can't get him. Shadow Fiend's about to hit that level 25 talent.
Yep.
Radiant's top
It's
tower
constant. These items that he has will always be up. The BKB will be up constantly too, and he's queued up the Hex, and of course, yeah, 40% CDR talent when he's got all these activatable items like we mentioned earlier. Hex will make it a lot easier for him to get on top of that Tinker. But Fnatic's done an excellent job in these last few situations. Kind of in the same area, right? All the fights that they took that were advantageous for them. Right on their high ground there.
You can see that it's been a while for Fnatic, something good going their way. Very long period of time since the last towers were killed.
Yeah.
So only a 3,000 gold lead now. And Abed Tinker well and truly online. Still does feel like eHome, if they manage to take the fights correctly, like that last one was a huge just skirmish trying to salvage the Roche.
It's really big about just, can they get the back? Like Abed's been, he's 4-1 and 5. Like he's just been freely casting everything all the way in the back, and he pretty much has a full Hex on top too, so they're gonna have a lot of different ways now to synergize with this Soulbind. Almost 2 Hexes finished on the side of Fnatic.
Ice wanting to go in. Oh, but he doesn't decide to go for it with Inkswell.
I mean, that's another combo they can do, right? Inkswell, vacuum. I mean, the thing is that the Inkswell wants to, it only builds up the stun if it's taking the damage, right? So,
yeah.
But it's all a bunch of different combos.
Being very concerned for Ice's sanity. We all are. The Sheep Stick is going to be finished now for that Tinker. The Daedalus was done for the Sven. It feels like this is one of those timings.
As long as Abed doesn't get picked off. If Abed gets picked off, he has no buyback. So has to be very, very careful with this position.
Speaking of buybacks, it's only the Grimstroke and the Darkseer right now that have it. So they did buy back on the Sven in one of those earlier engagements.
Yeah.
So DJ decided to go for that Glimmer Cape. Does have the Sheep Stick.
Almost done, yeah.
Really close. Oh, also the Shadow Fiend has one done.
Yeah, he was switching between Shivas and that, and I think Hex is better to hunt for the Tinker. It's also good versus Sven because at some point Sven's BKB is gonna get low. So just kiting is always great. Kiting and control, and has an Arcane Rune on top too. So this Shadow Fiend is when he pops his bottle with that 40% CDR plus the Arcane Rune, he's gonna have his abilities and his items up very often.
5-person smoke. It's gonna break on the Lich, and actually it's Abed that it breaks on, but they're moving up to the high ground. Faith Beyond, the one that's leading the charge. Jabs, walks forward. Cinderbrew already out, trying to chase. Ice, finding a wall, not gonna hit onto anybody. The whole duration of this BKB used on the snowball, and meanwhile they're able to find the follow-up stun. Can they do it in time? ASD, he blows up Abed. He's gone. 70 seconds, they do kill off that Underlord, but now the rest of Fnatic need to get the heck out of here as the chase comes, and, well, MP lifted up again in the air. That BKB, no more use at all. The Chain Frost is going to bounce back and forth between these heroes. It is well and truly time to see if they can escape. ASD gets that BKB off, and the chase forward from the Sven wants to find the kill, but I don't think he can really do it here. The birds are chasing, the Sinister Gaze is there, and Fnatic are going to lose 3.
Oh, and I was just saying that Abed, right? If he gets picked, he just spent the gold on the Hex. ASD they have a ward on the high ground. As soon as he sees Abed come in, he's just like, okay, blink heals Requiem, and that's a free kill. And now, since he had Arcane Rune and he had his CDR talent, Requiem's back up again already.
Did he get his BKB off twice in that fight, it felt like?
It felt like he did.
So, rough stuff there for Fnatic. Nobody has buybacks, and after a solid win in the Roche Pit, they're suddenly staring at a 7,000 net worth lead. More importantly, towers potentially going to be taken.
Acronym's on the Visage finish too, with the familiar. It's movement speed talent. I mean, his damage is also crazy. That's the thing. It's like you saw the Sven. As soon as he's isolated, the Visage familiar start beating on him, easily brought down.
Tinker going to respawn now.
There is a Hex on DJ finished. Will they be able to finish off the Rex? The birds are trying.
Oh, it's close. They do a lot of damage.
They're getting Cinder Brood though, and they're hitting themselves.
It's about the best they can do, but
they will.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to be able to find a second one. They do have another laser here from Abed in a second, but it's so scary walking up there and trying to hit one of these birds. And you just know that there's a Blink Hex Requiem come out.
Bottom shrine is under attack.
I mean, ASD's played this very well this game. I love that he went for this build I'd mentioned in the beginning too. It was absolutely perfect for this type of game.
Dire's bottom shrine is under attack.
Exactly what his team needed from him.
Yeah. Bottom shrine is falling.
Likewise, Ego been able to have a very good time on this Visage out of that tri-lane where it was just madness earlier.
It's been madness a lot of times in the fight too, the chaos, because he's getting collapsed on and he has to, I mean, that's why these BKBs come into play, right? BKBs, if he gets a Grave Chill, he can actually disengage. It's, yeah. And you had even mentioned in the last fight too, it's like the power of this snowball save. It's the whole duration pretty much of the Sven's BKB if he initiates. If there's a snowball save afterwards and P comes out and he's like, uh-oh, I'm a Sven with no BKB.
They're thinking about jumping on this guy. And it does feel like the Tinker needs that BKB, which he's now building towards.
Yeah, he can't get, if he just gets Yules or Hexed, he's just dead in the fights.
SD jumps forward, there's the Hex trying to chase MP there at the beginning, and they kill off DJ. He's still living through this one for the moment, but not long enough. They do kill off that Shadow Fiend. Lift up onto one, the chase forward for more. Chain Frost is not bouncing anymore. They're all actually, but no, but Abed, he gets caught. Oh, Ego makes the play that they needed, and again, no buyback on that Tinker as they're gonna try and chase down Ice. The Yule Scepter lift up. And this has gone from bad to worse for terrible for Fnatic. They're going to Sinister Gaze back in Ice, give the man the tip, and then send him to the grave.
Huh. I thought that might have been I was a little concerned there because he resummoned the birds as the Shadow Fiend fought back and boosted traveled on him and canceled them, but nah, they were more than strong enough as soon as he isolates the Tinker. Again, this is what I had mentioned from earlier is I love this hero, but it can be this point where you just get caught by anything and you're dead. And your 20,000 net worth is just feeling like it doesn't do that much.
ASD just asserting dominance here in the enemy team's base. Raise after raise. And they kill off that Sven and set their eyes on the tier 4 towers. GG is about to be called because I don't think there's any way they stop this. Jump forward, Requiem again, find the raise, get the kill. With no regard for human life, ASD is just styling on people. They're going forward towards this Ancient as the Walrus Punch lifts up, and E-Home are going to send them home. GG.
Yeah, definite GG. ASD played this one incredibly well, and I would love to like look at the lane too, the way that he played it, because the Tinker was doing great, and then him just the Shadow Fiend using the courier constantly in the lane. Yeah. The first 5 minutes was literally just Tango Mango, Salve Mango, and then he gets like a stat item, and he pulled ahead of Abed quite significantly.